Finally get back on. I think we got it this time. Yes, and we are live here for race number 14 of 29 here in the 1990 throwbacks, and we have an extremely tight points race still between the top three drivers, Alan Kulwicki, Bill Elliott, and Geoffrey Bodine. We are going to Michigan for the MGD 400. Michigan always turns out to be a very intriguing race no matter what happens here. I don't think that there's been really a dud Michigan race ever since the throwbacks inception in 1984. So we're going to be treated to probably some of the best racing that we're going to see all year long. As far as the qualifying goes, it looks like Ricky Rudd, we got a surprise pole sitter. Ricky Rudd is going to be on the pole here for Michigan. It's always nice to see a different pole sitter though. I'll take you through our top 10 here. Starting lineup, it looks like Ricky Rudd, he's on the pole. Tim Richmond will be rolling off second. Geoff Bodine off third. Elliott off fourth. Mark Martin off fifth. Alan Kulwicki will roll off sixth. Darrell Waltrip in seventh. Rusty Wallace is going to be in eighth. Morgan Shepherd in ninth. And Ken Schrader. Remember, he won one of the Michigan races last year. Ken Schrader, he'll be rolling off in 10th. So Ricky Rudd, usually not known for his insane qualifying prowess, has gotten his first pole in what has had to be an eternity. I don't think he got a pole last year, and if he did, it just glossed over it. Here's the command.
Start your engines.
Everything seems fired up. There goes the pace car. Pace car's going off. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm trying to pull up the live chat here, but anyways, the field's coming through turn number 4. Ricky Rudd's going to lead them down 2 by 2, coming to the line, and the green flag is out, and we are underway here from Michigan as I hit the stick too early. And Ricky Rudd will lead him down into turn number 1. And it looks like he's going to still be side by side with Richmond coming off of turn 2. That should give Richmond the advantage going down the back straightaway and into turn 3. Can Richmond get him cleared? It looks like he will have him cleared. And Tim Richmond is going to be the true pole sitter today, as he's going to lead lap number 1 and take a lead early on. Bill Elliott might be able to ride that momentum on the outside lane. We'll see if he's able to get around Rudd on the outside here. Rudd is trying to clear Elliott. See what happens if he can slide up here in front of Elliott. He cannot. And turn 3's been notoriously antsy for people being on the bottom. Can be very difficult. And you'll see Elliott will sail through the middle of the corner, and he'll pick up position number 2. Kulwicki should be able to get the 3rd position here. No issues. And Rudd continues to go in his free-falling ways, as it looks like he's going to drop another position, this time to Darrell Waltrip. Rusty Wallace is on that outside lane, and another person that's in free fall is Geoff Bodine. And he's somebody that has done this a lot, actually. He'll start decent, and he'll be in free fall during the middle of the race, before the first pit stop, and then his crew will turn in some kind of wizardry during his pit stop, and give him the fastest car on the track, and he ends up finishing third or fourth. It seems like that's the strategy that Geoff Bodine and his crew have been playing so far this year. And it's worked. It's worked to the tune of third in points, which is the best Geoff Bodine has been in quite a while. But there you can see Bodine getting passed by Ernie Irvin in the 4 car. Taking a look at the fastest lap times, and who else but Alan Kulwicki being at the top of the boards for the time being. So Kulwicki's at the top of the boards, but it's really, really close between him and Elliott. It looks like Richmond does not have the speed that him or Elliott has. So Elliott should be able to get around the 25 rather easily. We'll see what happens here. Elliott is going to get off of turn 4. Probably just going to get a strong run down the front straightaway. No, he didn't get any run down the front straightaway. If anything, he lost a ton of momentum. And here comes Kulwicki. Yeah, I thought Elliott was definitely going to have all the momentum in the world to come down to the 25 machine. And yeah, the momentum just seemed to be sapped away from him. We're still going side by side up here. Let's see here. This is for 6th, I think. The battle for 6th? Yeah, this is the battle for 6th. Here's Ricky running 6th. Martin is 7th. Ken Schrader's in 8th. Well, now we can say that Ernie Irvin's in 8th. Ken Schrader's in 9th. And Geoff Bodine, who is in 10th, is trying to go the middle, 3 wide. 3 wide. Brett Bodine's trying to sneak in there. Brett can't do anything. Jeff has to back off. And Ken Schrader gets a massive run in the outside lane. Yeah, I think brother Brett really messed up Geoff Bodine's run there. Got him loose in the middle of the corner, and that is usually a good way to upset somebody's run. Meanwhile, here's Elliott knocking on the back door of Tim Richmond, trying to get him to go, go, go. It does not look like that's happening, though. Elliott trying to find his way around Richmond. Nope. He's right on the bumper of the 25, though. He's got to find a way around him soon. And he got a terrible run through turns 3 and 4. So 1 and 2 seems to be Elliott's bright spot, but 3 and 4, he's not as strong. And that might be key because keep in mind that those are the 2 corners right before the start and finish line. You might be really strong in 1 and 2, but if you can't get it done in turns 3 and 4, you can be ran down and run down at the line. So that's potentially weaker. Kulwicki is now on the back bumper of Elliott. Kulwicki trying to find a way to the outside of Elliott. Elliott does not let him. In fact, Kulwicki's the one that gets a bad run off of turn 4 this time. Either that or Elliott shot out of a cannon. Elliott seems to be doing, seems to be acting like a spring here. He's going up to the 25, then he falls back to the 7. Up to the 25, back to the 7, up to the 25, back to the 7. And oh boy, it looks like we've got a new challenger coming up here. In fact, here comes the new fastest car on the track, and his name is Rusty Wallace. Well, maybe not the fastest car, but certainly faster than anything Kulwicki, Richmond, or Elliott's pulling right now. Rusty Wallace is 188.5, meanwhile everyone here is 188.4. flat, and everyone behind him isn't even doing 187. If that tells you how everyone's doing here. Elliott trying to find a way around the 25 still. This is not necessarily a difficult place to pass, but it's a very wide track. But the thing is that it's got rather low banking for a high-speed track, so despite the track being wide, it doesn't really matter. The groove is still pretty thin, so it can be difficult to pass. Kulwicki might have been able to do it, though. He got Elliott loose in the middle of the corner. Here comes Kulwicki down to the inside. Let's see if Kulwicki can get the job done. Cleared him. No, Elliott fights back. Kulwicki did not clear Elliott. And I do not think that he cleared Elliott for a second there. Elliott's trying to get a good run through turns 3 and 4. He's going to have that run, but he's also going to have no support whatsoever, as Kulwicki is going to be the one that goes to second place. And Rusty Wallace looks like he's got third in the bag. Elliott's going to try to fight back. Can't do it. Just can't do it. So Elliott will lose 2 positions there, and Alan Kulwicki will move to second. Elliott looking to the outside of Wallace. Not quite. So we are already on lap number 15 here at Michigan. Tim Richmond has led all 15 laps to this point. And Richmond has really done quite well here at Michigan. He knows how to get it done along with most of the other Hendrick drivers, even though none of them, with the exception of Schrader, are even in the top 10. I mean, well, never mind. Because Darrell Waltrip, here he is. Here's Waltrip. Here's Schrader. Where you ask, where's Labonte? Here he is. He's in 21st. Oh. Okay. Labonte is in 21st, apparently. Elliott and Wallace are battling for position. That has allowed for Kulwicki and Richmond to pull away, and Kulwicki's looking to take the lead away from Richmond. Here comes Earnhardt down to the bottom. 4 wide, 3 wide. Oh boy, who's got the advantage here? Nobody! Still 3 wide. Earnhardt made it work. That was a great move by a 3-time champion. And now he's going to work the outside of Schrader. You don't think that Dale Earnhardt is a wheelman? You don't think that Dale Earnhardt isn't one of the greatest drivers in NASCAR history? Take a look at this clinic that Earnhardt has just put on. He went through the middle of 3 wide, got those positions, and now here he is trying to work the outside of Ken Schrader, trying to get to the 6th position. And this is exactly what a championship driver does, even though Earnhardt hasn't necessarily had a very strong start to the season. Earnhardt has been slowly and steadily getting better as the races have gone on. So, Earnhardt's really trying his best to put out the best car that he can week in and week out. And although, yeah, he might be 300 points out of the lead. Last year, 300 points out of the lead was good enough for third in points, but this year it looks like 300 points out of the lead is going to be good for 11th. Just the level of competition stepped up, and that's what happens. The level of competition steps up, that's what's going to happen. And clearly, the level of competition has not necessarily been in benefit of Earnhardt. Meanwhile, man, Kulwicki is right on the back bumper of Richmond. Kulwicki's looking for any way around Richmond. Richmond's not going to let him. Kulwicki down to the inside. No. Just no. It's just not happening. Kulwicki looking to the high lane, not going to happen. Wallace is here in third. Elliott for fourth. They are catching, by the way. And now here's a good battle for fifth on back, even though they've got none of these guys have any hopes of winning this race. It's basically the top four and everyone else. Though Dale Earnhardt has a pretty fast car, I guess. Oh, he's about to use JD McDuffie as a pick. And that's going to be a good move. That's going to net Earnhardt both of those positions. Look at Ricky Rudd dive down to the inside. Will that move work for Rudd? No, it will not. Meanwhile, coming back up here. Battle for the lead. Tim Richmond, he's been in the lead for all 23 laps that have now been completed. No one's been able to get a sustained push on the leader. Kulwicki's tried, hasn't been able to do it. Wallace is probably faster. See if he can do it. Seeing these four up here just really reminds me of the boy, Kulwicki's up here instead of Dale Earnhardt. That's the thing that immediately comes to my mind. And Rusty Wallace is going to try to pit early. That's risky. Oh boy. That's a risky time to go down pit road. Ooh. Is Rusty Wallace playing six-dimensional chess here in NASCAR again? Oh boy. Wallace taking the risky pit strategy of pitting before the halfway mark. We'll see if that pays off. And unsurprisingly, everyone's going to hit the dirt this lap. Here comes Richmond, Kulwicki, Elliott. Will Earnhardt be coming down? Yes. Everyone behind him's coming down. And when I say everyone, I'm pretty sure that's going to mean everyone. Chad Little doesn't really count. So here we go. What is Rusty Wallace going to be able to do? Now you know pitting that one lap early, it's an advantage. It's not a huge advantage here at a track like Michigan, but it's an advantage nonetheless. Is it enough of an advantage? There's Elliott. Clearly not, and Alan Kulwicki will come out with the lead. Oh boy. Clearly it was not as much of an advantage as Wallace would have liked it to be. So not only did he take a risky pitch strategy, he also is now no better off than he was beforehand. Oh boy. Richmond's trying to find a way around Alan Kulwicki here on the outside lane. Kulwicki's not doing a good job of guarding that outside lane, and that may come back to bite him. Richmond trying to find some room on the bottom. No dice there, as you would expect. Kulwicki is gone. Rusty Wallace is trying to make up some unmade time. And no, you want to talk about glimpsing back to the Fantastic Four of '88. Here's Dale Earnhardt. He is in 6th. Yep. Man, that was just that was one of the best championship battles, at least between more than 2 drivers. Of course, Elliott Richmond last year was quite the impressive points battle. If you want to talk about points battles that include more than 2 drivers, 1988 probably had the best of them all. You had Dale Earnhardt, Bill Elliott, Rusty Wallace, and Tim Richmond all at peak performance. Maybe not Elliott at peak performance, but definitely Earnhardt at peak performance, definitely Richmond at peak performance, definitely Rusty Wallace at peak performance. With Dale Earnhardt winning that championship in '88, everybody thought, you know what, that definitely secures it. Dale Earnhardt is quite possibly the greatest driver of the 1980s, period. Winning 3 championships, of course. And those championships coming at both ends of the decade, 1980 and 1988, with another one in '86 thrown in there because Dale Earnhardt. But, oh, whoa, Tim Richmond is really falling back here. Richmond is going really, really slow. 182.5 miles an hour on his last run. So maybe that they made an adjustment, maybe there's a loose wheel, maybe there's a vibration with the 25, we really don't know. But problems here for Tim Richmond. He is falling back in a very fast way. Rusty Wallace is in 2nd, Elliott is in 3rd, and Kulwicki is all alone up at the front. And Kulwicki might be able to get the job done. I mean, I don't know anybody that's going to catch him. I don't know anyone that's going to catch him. Here comes Earnhardt. Trying to find a way. See if he can find a way to get around Martin. That'll put him in 5th. By the way, Geoff Bodine's fallen outside of the top 10 today, so Geoff Bodine will probably be taken outside the championship talks after this race. So it's probably going to be down to 2 after this race, and it's the men that are in 1st and 3rd right now. Alan Kulwicki, who is your leader, and Bill Elliott, who is in 3rd. So right now, as it stands, Alan Kulwicki is looking to leave this race with a 16-point lead over Bill Elliott, which I would consider to be, you know, pretty significant, considering how tight the points battle was last year. Remember, that was 2 points. You know, this is actually very typical of what you usually see here in the throwbacks, as you see Mickey Gibbs on the apron. That may bring out the yellow flag, and that could change a lot of things if Gibbs ends up stalling out here. I think he's going to have enough momentum to get all the way to the back around the track. He's still going at a good rate. As long as he keeps it in neutral, he should be able to coast all the way around. So far what I'm seeing here, they're catching Alan Kulwicki. And I don't think Elliott's going to want to make a move on Rusty Wallace until they get up to Kulwicki. Elliott wants to go, and I think he's proven it right now that Elliott wants to go. But Elliott also knows if he tries to go, all of a sudden he's going to be in a 5-6 lap battle with Rusty Wallace for that position. He's going to have no chance of winning this race. He knows he has to work with Wallace to get up to the lead, and then he could start working on getting around Wallace and getting around Kulwicki. He'll probably work with Wallace to try to get around Kulwicki first, and then work to get around Wallace. The question is there going to be enough time to do that? Either which way, Elliott will probably be very happy with the outcome if it ends up going the way that he wants it, which will be Elliott first, Kulwicki third. That would give Elliott a 9-point advantage going into the next race, which is Daytona. Elliott's staying right to the back of the 27. He's not going to let him go. Meanwhile, Kulwicki, he's about to get held up big time here. Let's see here. Lap traffic or lap traffic? What do you want to get stuck behind? I think they're going to choose lap traffic. Oh, that's a big help. Big, big, big help. Yep, here comes Wallace. Here comes Elliott. All that it took was lap traffic. Wallace going to go to the bottom here. Oh boy, he can't afford to do it, because Elliott will shoot by you on the outside. There goes Elliott. Elliott trying to shoot by on the outside. He can't quite get it to stick. 3 wide. Yeah, I told you. I mean, Rusty Wallace, he could have tried to get to the inside there and use Kulwicki as a pick, but then Elliott would have went on the outside of both of them. It could have made it 3, potentially 4 wide there, coming down to the line. And I think that's a situation that none of those drivers wanted. Yeah, I think Wallace probably did the good idea. Went outside to block him. If he tried to do anything there, that just would have created a mess. All 3 of them probably could have wrecked coming off the turn 4 there if Wallace tried to put any sort of move there for the lead on Kulwicki. 10 laps to go. Wallace is holding strong for second. Kulwicki has the lead. Elliott trying his best to help Wallace try to get around Kulwicki. Because that's what he wants. He wants to get around Kulwicki. But he knows that Wallace is such a fierce competitor that there's really nothing that you can do. You can't try to pass Rusty Wallace. He imitates a brick wall better than any other driver in this series. No doubt about it. Like, his car is 3 lanes wide and is fast. So trying to pass Rusty Wallace is basically trying to solve advanced calculus. Yeah, simple people can't do it. It's just that simple. But even gods of racing like Bill Elliott, and don't get us wrong, Bill Elliott is a god of racing. Like an unequivocated god of racing. He knows that he's not going to get around Wallace without a huge battle. He knows he's faster than Wallace, but he also knows, better work with Wallace and make sure. Now, Kulwicki is pulling away here, which is just a testament to just how fast that number 7 Ford Thunderbird has been. It's been a really fast car. Kulwicki's definitely been doing a good job. Just seeing lap traffic here is basically going to be non-existent. But it's still there. So keep that in mind. If Kulwicki doesn't choose the optimal line around this lap traffic in one of these turns, the lead will go to Rusty Wallace in a heartbeat. Like, it'll literally be a snap of the finger. Yep. Boom. And it'll be Wallace's lead. And then, once Wallace gets to the lead, Elliott's going to be right there. And you know Elliott's going to have every incentive to try to get around Kulwicki. At least tie for points in this race so they can end up going into Daytona with the 1 point advantage in the favor of Kulwicki. And Elliott knows Daytona probably better than any driver in the throwbacks. Yeah, Elliott, of course, is a master of the super speedways. Kulwicki is, yeah. And then Rusty Wallace, as we all know, is cataclysmic volcano eruption. When it comes to super speedways, so there we go. There's the line issue. Elliott trying to take advantage. No one can take advantage. Yeah, it's going to take 2 cars going side by side, I think, to really stop these guys, and that's just not going to happen. Hey, we're here, 4 laps to go. Elliott is doing everything he can to try to push the 27 up to the 7, and it just hasn't happened. Maybe Elliott's going to have to cut his losses and be like, look, I'm not going to be able to win this race. Do I start that multi-lap battle now with Rusty Wallace and try to take second? At least only be 10 points down instead of being 15. Since the most laps led is definitely going to Tim Richmond. Yep. Actually, I think it's going to both Richmond and Kulwicki. I think they both led 25 laps today. And yeah, we said that it was going to be risky. Wallace is slow. Wallace is slow. He's got to come down pit road. And yeah, that risky pitch strategy does not work out for Wallace. Well, that sets up a 1.5 lap dash, with Hutch Strickland probably being the only person that can ruin this for Kulwicki. We'll see what Elliott can do. Kulwicki's going to try the high lane going into turn 1. That might be able to be taken advantage of. Not to the extent that... Oh boy, we've got more slow cars here. Keep on thinking, yes, slow cars, slow cars, slow cars. But it's not going to matter. Alan Kulwicki is going to continue to be unbelievable this season, as he's going to pick up yet another win this year. This time it's going to come at Michigan. This has been the year of dreams for Alan Kulwicki. Good Lord. What a year it's been for Kulwicki. I mean, you take it here, you want to talk about breakout star of NASCAR, Kulwicki. It's just unequivocally 7-car. Alan Kulwicki has done unbelievably thus far to this part of the season. He's only going to gain another, 10 points on Elliott at most. Nope, he gains the full 15, so they gave him 25 laps. Yep, 25 laps to Kulwicki, 25 laps to Richmond. So that is going to be a 16-point advantage now for Kulwicki, 57 points to Geoff Bodine. And a still overall crazy points battle, but as you can definitely see, it's going to be between Kulwicki, Elliott, and Bodine as the season continues. Here's everyone else, and everyone else just continues to fall more and more back as the season continues, and I don't think that there's going to really be much of a recovery from this free fall. Anyways, we're at the midpoint of the season, and that means it's time for the Pepsi Firecracker 400, and that's going to be next time here on the Throwbacks. We'll see you then.